What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Culture 316 podcast. I'm Jordan Nahisi, one of your co-hosts and producers.
Oh shit. Hi, y'all. It's Mo. What's up, people?
It's blonde. You dyed your hair blonde, and you didn't think it was going to affect you, and it just did. See, this is what happens. But thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Um, we're in the thick of the holidays. First of all, happy holidays to everyone. We just passed Christmas. We're coming up on New Year's, and also the third most significant birthday of the year, which is my birthday. So happy holidays to everyone. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas to those who celebrated Christmas, and Happy New Year in advance. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, be sure to rate us with a 5 stars. Be sure to subscribe to the pod. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. 2023 has been a great year for us, and we've experienced an amazing amount of growth through our YouTube channel as well as other socials. So we really wanted to thank everyone who has supported us, everyone who's joined every 316 space, everything that we've ever done. Your support means the absolute world to Mo and I, and we're really excited about what's coming for 2024. But without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into the show. So obviously, we talked last week about the Iron Claw, A24 film about the Von Erich family, um, releasing into theaters. I'm actually gonna go see it this week, and the numbers are in. It looks like they debuted at number 6 at the box office during opening weekend, and they generated $5.6 million. I believe is the nationwide total for their box office release. I wanted to know what your impressions were, how you feel about these numbers. Is it good for wrestling or is it just another movie release? I wanted to know how you felt.
It feels really good as a wrestling fan, honestly, when you see stuff like this, because a lot of times when you talk about wrestling to a casual or just people who just grew out of watching wrestling, they're like, oh, you still watch that stuff? Oh, wrestling's whack now. No one cares about wrestling. Or they always downplay it, and it's just like you put out a movie and voila. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure those numbers came from both, yes, younger generations, but plenty of older generations that just wanted to feel
Absolutely.
some nostalgia. We got a lot of information about the Von Erichs from the Dark Side of the Ring, and that was probably one of their best episodes. Probably my top 10 episodes that I love watching from them. So I think it's really cool that they got their own movie, and that obviously wrestling's not dead, people, because look at the numbers; they speak for themselves. But what do you think about it, Jordan?
I think that it's great. Once again, I'm very eager to see the movie in actual theaters. The Von Erichs obviously are one of the most legendary families in the history of professional wrestling, and I think that when we talk about pro wrestling, like you said, a lot of people kind of say, "Oh, wrestling, that thing that you watch, it's not even cool. It's not even out." I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. To be able to debut top 10 in the box office, generate that much money on opening weekend, I think is a testament to the fact that pro wrestling has been an institution in a lot of people's lives for so long, whether it's childhood, whether it's them being a teenager, whether it's into young adult and adulthood. I feel like there are so many people around the world who pro wrestling has been a pillar in their life. And so anytime a moment like this comes about, when when wrestling and culture can kind of collide, you see wrestling fans come out in full support of these production of wow, words, of these productions, of these kind of circumstances. But I'm really happy that the Iron Claw saw a successful debut weekend. Um, Once again, I'm gonna go watch it. Very happy and eager to see it. But I want to know how you guys felt. Did you see the Iron Claw? Let us know how you felt about it. How do you feel about these opening weekend numbers? Um, but we're gonna move right along because this was a thing that I've been wanting to talk about all week. So this past, I think it was Sunday or Monday, we saw Swerve Strickland post to his Instagram story a song that he had wrote and or recorded, um, and he caught a little bit of slack
A little bit.
because there was a lyric that came off as anti-black and or very colorist. He said had a chick, but she was black and ugly. Um, and I kind of wanted to know, as a black woman, how you felt about hearing this from someone who is easily the fastest rising star in AEW, if not all of pro wrestling.
Honestly, I was shocked and disgusted just because he prides himself as being a black man himself, and he has said before that he wants to be the first African American AEW champion. And it's just, he's not an idiot. You know, he's on social media. He sees who his audience is. And I know that for a fact because I have seen him get into beats with Black Wrestling podcasts before for their lists. So it's kind of crazy how fast forward, you would think that with all this rise in attention and the bulk of his support really has came from Black wrestling fans. You know what I mean? Like, we've been supporting him since his debut on AEW. Before
Mm-hmm.
that, actually, if you've been watching his work in ROH and you've seen his work in NXT with Hit Row, but like, we've been supporting you the most. Black women love sport. My black mutuals on Twitter be thirsting over this man. Okay? And again, I'm sure he sees this because he's very active on social media, hence how he promotes his music. You know what I'm saying? And like, what he did and what he said in that clip, it's just mind-boggling because that's like the type of stuff that people will search up in the bar when they're trying to expose you for something you said in your past. And he's just out here, out of all verses, out of all bars in his song that he could have used in the snippet, he goes ahead with something colorist and racial. And then like, there's so many layers to unpack here too, because you go back to his dating history and you don't really see too much color. If it
See, I
is,
didn't
it's
know
not a
that.
black
So
woman. Yeah, so it was just layers to how bad this was, and you had some people saying, "Well, it was just wordplay," and it's just like, he's very talented. He's a very talented artist. If he wanted to quit wrestling today, I do think with his connections and his talent, he could go ahead and attempt to just be a rapper and see where that goes. But it's just like, dude, you're in the middle of a fucking tournament. Everyone's rooting for you. I think he did that bullshit on a Monday. And then, the tournament's on Wednesday. It just looked it so bad. It was so bad because he went in with so much momentum and just said something just so tone deaf. And it's like, you know better. You know better. And it's just crazy when I see a black man that came from a black woman spew these type of things because it's just like, what goes on in your head? Like, what went wrong in the chain of command that in this day and age, 2023, do you even want to entertain the idea of putting that together? Some people were saying, well, again, it's just wordplay. He could have interjected a different race and said white and ugly, Asian and ugly, whatever. And it's just like, again, why would you say that? It's just like, I don't know. I'm very much disgusted. It turned me off about wanting to deal with him, seeing him in with the belt. Me seeing him on camera, it's just very distasteful because I was looking to you to represent me, and this is how you view us. It just felt like a slap in the face. Um, and surely enough, he lost in the tournament, as far as I know. Don't know if that was intentional or not, because it did. I don't know. It was very good timing, and even if it wasn't planned, sorry, if it was planned that he was supposed to lose, people were supposed to be upset. Our community is supposed to be upset and up in arms. But instead, I look through the timeline, everyone is like praising that he lost. Like, his stocks are all the way down doing this. It was stupid on a moral standpoint. It was stupid on a personal standpoint. It was stupid on a business standpoint. I'm just disgusted. I'm
mm,
disgusted. I'm disappointed. Um, I don't know if anyone checked him. I really would love to know. Did any of his coworkers try to be like, "Hey, yo, like, I know you're doing your thing, but this is not okay."
mm.
I can't even imagine being the other black fellow coworkers in AEW hearing that. Can you imagine crossing him in backstage after hearing that? Like, how you view me, bro? Like, wait, I thought we was on the same team. Guess not. Um, But I would love to hear your take, Jordan.
So, all right. Huh. Okay. Let me say this. I from a wrestling fan standpoint, I still feel as if Isaiah Swerve Strickland is world heavyweight champion material. From a talent perspective, the man has it all. From a creative perspective, the man has it all. His presentation, his art, his demeanor, his move set, his matches this year have been top of the top without a
Mhm.
debate. Um,
Mm.
and I wanted to preface this whole monologue with that because I feel like it's very easy for you to attempt to hold somebody accountable and it's viewed as an attack and it's seen as kind of like a you're trying to come at somebody's talent or somebody's craft, and I'm not doing that. I am a black man. My mother is a black woman. My grandmother is a black woman. My aunt is a black woman. Um, my fiance is a black woman. My co-host is a black woman. I have black women as friends, black women as people that I consider sisters. I am the man that I am today because the black woman in my life molded me and shaped me and helped me become a more self aware, emotionally intelligent human being that is able to show empathy for others and be an effective and quality communicator. So, when you disrespect a black woman, I have a problem with that. And it's like, oh, he could have said white and ugly. He could have said Asian and ugly. You could have also said whack and ugly. Whack rhymes of black. I'm not even a rapper. I'm just a someone who passed my English region and I know that. So if I can figure that out, why can't you? Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary for you at the peak of your career currently? I'm not saying that this is the highest you'll ever get. Why do you feel it to be necessary to disrespect black women? And if we're being completely honest, right? We when I turned on Dynamite and I saw people were watching Swerve and doing Swerve's dance and doing the this and this. It's like it was majority people that were, and I get it, right? The majority of wrestling fans probably did not make a big scene out of it because the majority of wrestling fans aren't necessarily anti-colorism, not because they are morally, not up to par, but that's just something that either they haven't experienced, haven't been exposed to, or something that they were not conditioned to care about.
Mm.
But I expect better from Swerve because you're a black man in America. And yes, I get it. Like your preference is your preference. Love who you love, be with who you want to be with. But your preference should not be rooted in your desire to disrespect black women or your desire to tear them down or your desire to make them a punchline of a song. I don't think that is right. And you may be like, well, evolve, whatever, da 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 da. Da. And that's all well and good. And maybe you see this and it's like, well, this kid is a nobody, this guy is a nobody. All right, that's great. Just remember, these white people see you as just another nigga too. And if you decide to step out of line, if you decide to step out of line, these white people are going to look at you the way that you look at black women. And that's the reason why you uplift your own people. Because at the end of the day, we are what we have. Like we are all that we have. And it's about the community and it's about the culture. And you can't be for black culture and disrespect black people. Come on now. And that could be a woman, that could be a man, that could be someone that's trans, that could be someone that's queer. You can't be pro black if you're not pro all black people.
Yeah,
So
what
if you're
is
gonna talk,
that? What
Yeah, I
is
don't
it with
know.
like black people making the industry? For some reason, they just kind of turn the cheek to their own people. Like, what is
I
it with
mean, I
that?
don't know what it. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna try to unpack that or like decrypt it. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like you can't. I can't sit up here and be pro something and then be against a certain section of that something. And it's like, yes, if you sit up here and you're calling somebody ugly and associating blackness with ugliness, or associating blackness with uncivility, or associating blackness with undesirability, that is a form of anti-black speech, and that is colorist or racist. But I just felt like it was just a very, very disrespectful, classless, disgusting move. And I also feel like that just wasn't it. Like like you
No.
said, Mo, Swerve is a talented rapper. There's so many other things he could have said but that. And I think it's just super unfortunate that that was the path that he decided to choose. In that, I don't
You think
think
Tony's
that
gonna?
he I was about to say, I don't think that like the his freestyle has anything to do with him losing the Continental Classic, because I feel like if this is for a Continental Championship, this is going to be another belt that's not the World Heavyweight title, and I think the plan is for him to be the World Champion. And if the plan is to be the World Champion, it doesn't make sense for him to go after a title that is not that World Heavyweight Championship. So I don't think that it's because of that, but yeah, I
But you think that Tony Khan is probably gonna punish him in some shape, way, or form for this, or he's gonna mind his business?
no,
Because
no, no,
no,
absolutely not,
really, some
absolutely
people
not.
got
I don't.
sensitivity classes. So I'm
I
just saying.
mean, yes, but at the same time, I just don't think, like, we haven't heard anything yet. And I think if it were a matter of that, we would have heard something. Because to be honest, with the whole sensitivity classes, because I remember we talked, that was like what, Sammy Guevara, and he was talking about rape. And so I think
I
that
think
rape, sexual
did
assault,
Eddie get it
sexual
too?
abuse.
Yeah,
Who?
yeah. I thought Eddie
Yeah,
had
he.
sensitivity class or anger management classes. It was one
I
or the
think
other. Whatever.
maybe I think
Mm,
Eddie had like an anger man. I don't know. And
go
Sammy
ahead.
had the whole talking about sexual assault and rape and sexual abuse. And I
Yeah.
think it was specifically talking about his comments about Mercedes Monet. Um, but I don't think that he's gonna get. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get punished. Is all that I'm saying. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it is what it is. But I want to know how everybody else feels. Did everyone else see or hear these colorist lyrics from Swerve? Let us know in the comments below and how you feel about it. But we're gonna be moving on because we're going to be talking about some of our end of the year moments. Um, there were so many things that happened this year, so many things that were pivotal and turning points in the world of pro wrestling. So we have, I believe, five little categories, and this is just five just because it was quick, it was off the top. We have match of the year, we have moment of the year, we have the debut of the year, we have the entrance of the year, and then we also have a hot take for 2024. So I wanted to start with you. You can run through yours for all the categories, starting with match of the year.
Oh, I was gonna mention me and Zaire's because we kind of had the same or somewhat a
Go ahead.
different one. So the funny thing is that I said Will and Omega for Forbidden Door. Because the thing about Forbidden Door for me is that like I didn't really like grow up on the whole New Japan wave, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, like the pay per view itself shocked the hell out of me and was very entertaining. But that match was for me experiencing like some of Will's best heel work. And of course, like I popped heavily. I would not shut the fuck up, guys, about the Benoit reference. Like the match itself was freaking entertaining, but I was over the moon about how like the lengths that Will was willing to go to just to be a heel in this match, and like the
Mm-hmm.
crowd ate it up, and I just love the way
I
the
remember
crowd
that.
ate up. Yeah, it just I don't know. It just when the crowd gets into it, I get especially into it. And I thought the match was just fucking top to bottom, left to right, great. But ironically, Zaire did not choose that. He said the match dragged on too long and went with their Wrestle Kingdom match, which was
Mm.
also freaking
A
great.
banger. Yeah.
Was a banger, right? So we kind of had the same, but not the same. So that was mine. You said go through the whole list.
Yeah, go through your list.
Um,
Yeah.
Gotta had a hard time with the moments of the year. This is a little bit smaller. Not really smaller, but I thought it was very important. So I'm gonna go with Bad Bunny and PR.
Mm,
Just because like that was like such a big freaking moment just for WWE, for Puerto Rico, for Bad Bunny. I thought it was just fucking cool. Like it wasn't
yeah.
technically like their biggest pay-per-view, yes, when you look at the grand scheme of like what went on, but I just thought it was like a major moment, a huge milestone for WWE to even take it to Puerto Rico like that. And center around one of the biggest pop stars on the entire planet currently, that is Bad Bunny. So and plus, y'all, I'm half Puerto Rican. Duh. Of course, I'm gonna eat it up. Okay,
Right.
so I gotta go with that. Okay, number three, I'm gonna go. Sorry for uh
Debut of the year.
debut of the year. I just feel like it's pretty obvious that you guys go with like CM Punk, just because there's a lot that went on with this man between him coming back, this man freaking having collision just now just falling down because he's gone, and then he just does the unthinkable and shows up to freaking WWE. No one ever saw it coming, but it happened, and here we are, people. It shook the table, and it is spiking up ratings. Yeah, we got to give it to Punk, regardless of how I feel about him. Entrance of the year, I had such a hard time with this. I had such a hard time with this. um for me, uh, I went with Bianca Belair.
Okay.
Her WrestleMania entrance, the little girl, just because it was just so heartfelt that she lost her mom, and she gave her that the floor to perform on this big behind stage in front of millions of people. A, but B, just like as much as I would love to see Bianca as like a heel, it really warmed my heart to visually see her impact on our community, because I never got to grow up having like too many um black female wrestlers to like look up to, but it really does warm my heart to just literally see the impact that she has across all children, but
Hmm.
especially my own people. So I love that entrance. It was fucking amazing. That little girl did her thing. It was adorable. Shout out to her. Shout out to the WWE in general just for just doing this for this little girl, because there's no way to um possibly like make such a terrible situation better, but at least they give that girl like an opportunity to just smile,
Right.
shine, be on a big stage, and live one of her dreams. That was pretty freaking awesome. um Zaire actually went with like Kenny Omega's Seth Ross cosplay. Just ugh. I don't
It's the face.
he just because he just be disgusting me, like honestly,
Oh,
like
you're
I'd be
so
so sick of
disgusted.
it. Like he just like, why you gotta embarrass me? Um, all right,
That
so
was bad timing. That was
hot
so
take
funny.
for 2024. I really do think that AW might lose their deal due to
Ooh.
Punk, because they're already doing bad, and the network really kind of only did this because they love Punk. And now he's not here. He's actually way over there doing a great job. Like,
Right.
he did the wrong thing going out, and he's still winning. He's winning so hard, he's helping the rival company. And he's doing well, and he's probably getting a fatter check over there. Like, everything just came back full circle, all's well in kumbaya.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's looking good for AEW. I think they might have to work with a singular network until they get some comeback, some fight, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. It's really embarrassing. But and for Zaire, his hot take was that New Japan is gonna fall off because the fans are saying that it's pretty bad right now. I don't watch New Japan. If you guys feel any differently about that or have more to say about New Japan, the state of it, I would love to know. So comment below. But now I'm gonna swing it back to Jordan. Give me your five.
I'm like, I have like my little monitor set up, so that's the reason why I'm like looking at my screen and then looking back. All right,
Go
so
ahead.
match of the year. I'm gonna have to go with the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. I believe it was at Money in the Bank. And the reason
That was
being
fun.
is because I feel like it was such a great showcase and display of storytelling. Uh, and it helped further advance the bloodline storyline. And there were so many callbacks to previous matches because, for example, I believe that the Usos were the first, or I think it was Jay. Jay was the first person to pin Roman Reigns on the main roster when he was a part of the Shield. I think he was his first main roster loss, and they kind of brought back that spot for Money in the Bank. So the fact that they were able to kind of bring that back in a way that gave life to Jay Uso as a solo star and kind of set up his trajectory to be a breakout star for the remainder of the year, I think that that was amazing. So that's my match of the year was the Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos.
That's
Now
solid.
the moment of the year was the return of CM Punk to WWE. Um Literally Survivor Series happens, we get the Randy Orton return. They're doing the wide shot, zooming out. The tag is on the bottom. It's the end of the show and then next thing you know, Punk's music hits and the place absolutely loses it. The roof comes unglued. Punk comes out and then that's followed up by a press conference with Triple H talking about how they made amends and how people change. That's followed by kind of Punk's kind of comeback toward the WWE. He had a couple promos on a couple shows. He worked with Seth. You know what I mean? He went down to NXT and he worked with a couple of the people down there. And it was all linked back to that one moment. But when we talk about moments of the year, we're talking about those things that happen and you have to ask yourself, where was I when this happened? I don't think that there was any one of those moments besides this one with CM Punk debut. Well, CM Punk's uh
I don't know, man. Cause
arrive.
you can have that neck and neck with him getting fired too. I feel like if you want to,
Absolutely, absolutely. But the difference is that when he was getting fired, it was more on how can we repair this for the sake of good or bad PR, as opposed to WWE was just solely focused on making a moment. And so I think that's the reason,
nah,
one of the
because there was
reasons
a moment too with Tony Khan shaking like a stripper on live TV, talking about how his life is at risk. I'm sorry, there's just so
that
much
it was the
between
it was the
both.
it was I still think that his debut, I still think that him returning to WWE was a bigger moment. I
Okay.
think that him getting fired was a moment, but simultaneously, it was. I feel like because they were because look at what happened. That what was the follow up to Punk's arrival to WWE, and what was the follow up to him being fired from AEW? AEW's ratings go down, their publicity goes down, their notoriety goes down, attendance goes down. What
True.
was WWE's uh, what was the follow up to Punk making his arrival? He
Oh
is the
shit.
number one and the number one merch seller on WWEshop.com. He sells out MSG this past week. He Jesus, whatever happened. He's been on pretty much all three shows. So that's the reason why I would say it's the moment of the year, because not just of the actual moment itself, but because of the follow up from that. Um, Debut of the year. I'm gonna have to go with Adam Copeland in AEW. There was a point in time before Punk got to WWE. Um, Before Punk got to WWE, where AEW was kind of like in this limbo state, where they weren't necessarily sure if they were going to pick back up from where Punk left off. They didn't know if there was going to be another big star that came in. And then next
Yeah.
thing you know, we hear Edge's music. He comes out, and for a moment, it was one of the biggest holy moments of the year. And I just think that it was a good way to kind of set the tone for his now rivalry with Christian Cage. So I would put that as my debut of the year.
I'm
My
surprised you chose
entrance
that.
of my entrance of the year is Bad Bunny at Backlash. I'm surprised. I mean, like you said, moment of the year. So I guess moment and entrance can kind of count as the same thing, but it's a different level when you come out. your theme song is your song, and you have about 20,000 people singing it word for word in your hometown. And in the midst of it, they have this amazing drone shot of the entire crowd. He's getting pyro. He's facing Damian Priest. But when we talk about entrances of the year, I don't think that we've seen anything as iconic as that. Well, I don't think that we've seen as anything as iconic as that as far as a WWE entrance since the Undertaker's entrance,
Mm,
or since Bray
wow.
Wyatt coming back. Um, but I think that that was the entrance of the year was
R.I.P.
Bad Bunny, Backlash, Puerto Rico, and my hot take for 2024. I had two, and you took one of them, but
Yay.
I'm gonna say the other one. Sasha Banks will be in WWE. That's my hot take for 2024. I think we've heard rumors about there were working plans between Mercedes and AEW. Those plans are no longer working. And she's nearing the end of her injury timeline as far as her recovery and rehab. One can only imagine that the next big step is her to show up at a wrestling company. Personally, I do not think it's New Japan, nor is it AEW, nor is it Impact. I believe that she will be returning to WWE. That's my story, and I'm
Dude,
sticking to it.
if that happens, then who on earth do you recruit to help out AEW?
Um,
Because Edge couldn't save it.
I mean, I don't think that this is a matter of them like cause here all right. Here's the thing with AEW. AEW has one of the most stacked rosters in the world. Not only
Mm,
do they have one of the most stacked rosters in the world, they have working relationships with multiple promotions. Obviously, Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. Um, they have a working relationship with Impact Wrestling.
mm.
Um, at one point, they had a working relationship with AAA. So the problem is not the roster. And because the problem isn't the roster, that means that the solution isn't getting somebody new who can be a star. They have a bunch of great homegrown talent there that they I feel like haven't been able to fully tap into. I feel like Ethan Page can be a guy who can be the face of the company, but they're not. They're putting him in Ring of Honor against Tony Nese. And granted, Tony Nese is good, but like at the same time, Ethan Page is someone who is a main event caliber talent, right? So you have him. But I feel like it's kind of similar to like an NBA team that has recruited a bunch of superstars to create a super team and they still didn't get a championship. It's like, okay, now that we've done that and that hasn't worked, we have to just develop new stars and hope that we can work towards, you know, winning. And I feel like that's what AEW needs to do. They need to stop going after the superstars and they just need to develop what they have. Like all these people have come and gone, superstars have come and gone, and it's like a lot of your pillars are still there. So just invest in them and just build them up correctly and then see where we go from there. Um but that's our 2023 2024 little end of the year moments. But if we missed anything, let us know in the comments below and we're going to take a look at them. But we're moving on because this Saturday, yep, Saturday, um, AEW Worlds End emanates live from the Nassau Coliseum, the dirty, nasty Nassau Coliseum, in Uniondale, New York.
Mm,
It is a stat
mm-mm.
card, a lot of matches, some last minute changes. But we're gonna
Uh-oh.
go over them. We're gonna start from the bottom of the list. Actually, yeah, we're gonna start from the bottom of the list and we're gonna work our way to the top. Actually,
Let's do
yeah,
it.
we're gonna start with the pre-show matches, then the bottom, then to the top. Pause. So we're gonna start with pre-show match number one for the FTW Championship. We have Hook versus Wheeler Yuta, aka one of Mo's favorite wrestlers. Who do you have between Hook and Wheeler Yuta?
Oh, I can't stand this useless ass nigga, yo. Why does he keep getting on the card? Like, why? What
That's
does
your
Tony
friend. That's
see
your
in this
best
man?
friend.
No, absolutely not. But he's fucking useless because again, he's on the pre-show at that. I feel bad for who. Oh my god, I can't speak today. I want to call him Hook with like an accent that I never had. Um, poor Hook. Poor Hook. Oh my god, you were mentioning names just earlier about just people they don't take seriously. Hook was so promising, and it's just so sad to see like this is what he's doing now. He's up
Mm.
against useless. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Hook. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a Hook. I won't be watching, by the way. Somewhere
Yeah, I was about to.
drinking, but not watching this.
I'll be celebrating my birthday, so I will not be watching as well. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Hook as well. Like you said, I feel like when Hook first debuted, he was the coolest thing ever, coolest human being ever, and it just feels like he's just kind of stuck in this limbo of holding the FTW championship while the FTW championship isn't being promoted as like a major title. It's always on the pre-show. It's you know what I mean? And it doesn't feel as important as it should. But I'm gonna go
Too
with
many
Hook.
belts.
Too many belts, and that's a different conversation for the new year. But now we have a 20-man battle royal for a future AEW TNT Championship match. So ideally, the winner of this match would go on to face either Adam Copeland or Christian Cage.
I don't
Um,
care. I
I don't,
hate
I
battle
don't,
royals.
I hate battle royals. Also, they don't mention who's in it, so I can't even give a prediction. So you know what? We're gonna skip this match and we're gonna go to
Word.
the 8-man. We're gonna skip this match. We're gonna go to the 8-man tag. So we have an 8-man. So this was previously for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Somewhere along the line, not somewhere along the line, but Kenny Omega is currently dealing with something medically. Hopefully, we're praying for a speedy recovery for Kenny. Hopefully, he gets it. Hopefully he becomes healthy again. But there was an AEW Tag Team Championship match where it was going to be Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Due to the injury of Kenny Omega, he is no longer in the match. And now that AEW Tag Team Championship match is an 8-man tag team match with Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting versus the Don Callis family and Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs alongside Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Who do we have in this match?
This is another match I really don't care for. And it's really embarrassing too because Jericho just got exposed. Oh, he got exposed. He got exposed. And I got to shoot between a Predator and the Don Callis family. I don't want to align with a Predator. I'm not sure about y'all. I'm going to go with the Don Callis family. Go ahead.
I'm I'm going to go with while I'm not necessarily siding with them. I'm going to go with the faces in this match. So we're going to go Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting. Next match, we have Miro versus Andrade El Idolo. And they are kind of sort of competing for the services of CJ Perry. But Miro versus Andrade El Idolo. Who do you have in this match?
Mm. You think they're gonna cuck him out? I don't think they would cuck him out
Um,
on another promotion.
Jesus.
Yeah, I would hope that they don't do that to him.
Please
Yeah,
don't again.
I'm gonna go to Miro because my brain just had a whole flashback of that god awful wedding and that cuck off. Yeah, let's give it a Miro.
I'm gonna go with Miro as well. Justice for Miro. Now we're going to Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland. I'm gonna go with
Keith.
Keith Lee. You going with Keith?
Yeah. What do I look like side with a colorist?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Keith Lee as well. Next is for the TBS Championship. We have Julia Hart versus Abaddon. Who do we have?
First of all, I forgot Abaddon was employed. I guess Julia.
That's nuts. I'm gonna go with Julia as well. I got Julia. Next, we have for the AEW TNT Championship. It is a no disqualification match. We have Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. Who do you have?
Ex-husband. Christian Cage.
I'm gonna go with Adam Copeland. Reason
Fake.
being,
Fake.
reason
Fake.
well, Whoa, 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 whoa! I said that I
Egg,
think he's going to win. I never said that I wanted him to win. I think that
egg.
Christian
Don't
Cage, and
support me.
Dominic Mysterio are the best heels this year. So it's not the fact that I don't like Christian Cage. It's the fact that based
You just,
on
you just don't
the
like me.
feud, huh? That,
You just-
but based on the fact that the build up, I should say, to this match, we saw Christian and Edge Adam Copeland in Montreal, where Christian Cage won the TNT Championship against him, or he retained his title against him. I think based off of that, and based off the fact that it is a no disqualification match, I think we're going to see Adam Copeland win from Christian Cage. Next, though, this is a championship final of the AEW Continental Classic for the inaugural AEW Triple Crown Championship. Just to give context, that championship comprises of three titles. One is the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. The other one is the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship and the new AEW Continental Championship. So this match is for all three of those belts. And the match is John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Who do we have?
I choose my uncle every time.
I'm going to go with Eddie as well. Now we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm versus Riho. Who do we have?
Riho has actually grown a lot on me, but I'm gonna give it to Tony because she's been on the run of her life.
Same. I think Tony is doing the best work she's ever done, and I'm going to give it to Tony. The next match is MJF versus Samoa Joe, right? And I want you to answer the prediction, but I'm gonna have a follow up question after that. So MJF or Samoa Joe in this match?
Because I'm still thinking that this still has to pivot back some shape, way, or form to Adam Cole. I'm gonna say MJF, but if it was in my heart and soul, it would be Samoa Joe because this is the most boring fucking reign. I think might be like top three most boringest AEW World Championship reigns I think I ever seen. Like I'd never seen like a timeline so dry about a champion before. And Samoa Joe is just great on the mic. He this has to have been MJF's only interesting feud. Yeah, honestly, for me as him as a babyface or whatever the hell he's doing, this has to be the only feud I care about, and I think Samoa Joe. He's so good. I wish it was him. Not gonna be him. Unfortunately, it has to be what call it
MJF.
MJF. But what were you gonna go on about?
I think it's going to be MJF, but this begs the question, a recurring question that has been on AEW Dynamite or AEW programming for the past God knows how many months is who is the devil? Who is the devil? So I wanted to know from you, who's the devil? Who is this masked man? Considering that his masked assailants just won the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles from MJF this past week on Dynamite. Um, so want to know, who do you think the devil is?
Um, I mean, it could go either way. People are saying that it's Jack Perry, and I'm scared for my life if it's Jack Perry because that is not going to move ratings.
Right.
If it is Jack Perry, then it's obviously a retaliation against Punk, and that man will never be a main event star. I'm sorry, that's just as someone said to Cody years ago on Twitter. You're my favorite mid Carter. He's someone over there, favorite mid Carter. It would make more sense if it was Adam Cole for the simple fact that I always felt like I never trusted Adam Cole even when they were best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can see Adam Cole being a shitty friend perpetually and putting MJF in shitty situations. So it makes sense that since he kind of already got him on his most vulnerable side, I feel like that's what the devil does, right? Plays with your head, makes you do things you don't want to do, sacrifice yourself. It kind of makes sense that this circles back to Adam Cole somehow because I think the fans have been wondering, all right, how are you guys going to go about this? Like, how much would he have to screw MJ over in what ways to get these two to bump heads finally? You
Mm.
know, and then what do we get out of this with MJF? is like another question. But I want to know who you think it is, why, and what's going to come of it.
I think Adam Cole is the devil. The reason I think that Adam Cole is the devil is because I think that one of the things that Adam Cole has lacked in this current AEW run that MJF was kind of poking at was that old Adam Cole, that rebellious, the Playboy City Panama, like the Playboy of Panama City guy, that guy who was in NXT, who was wreaking havoc, the guy who joined Bullet Club and Ring of Honor. We're not seeing that fire from him in AEW, and I believe it's because he hasn't had a opportunity to kind of show it. And I feel like this is the perfect opportunity. MJF is the current world heavyweight champion. He's befriended him. He has earned the trust of MJF, and this is the perfect opportunity for him to kind of strike in a way that's unexpected and allowing him to kind of set back into kind of like his default mode, if you will, of being just this smug prick. And I feel like Adam Cole is the devil, and he's going to be revealed at World's End this Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
I'm with it.
But I want to know how y'all feel about AEW Worlds End and your predictions. Be sure to drop a comment below. But that concludes today's episode. This is the last show of 2023. Once again, thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. It means the world to us. And we have some exciting things planned for 2024. But until then, thank you guys so much. And we'll see y'all next year. Woo!